Earth bow form, section 3, out of 4 sections total. Section 3 has some kind of complicated moves in it, so we'll work toward it. I'll do my best to explain. If we just finished section 2, and this was my original north, then section 2 finished southeast doing that spin thrust. So now, the next move or two, the next 2 moves actually, go back northwest to the opposite corner from where I'm facing now. Just finished this guy, sat around his belly with that thrust. He's down, don't have to worry about it anymore. I hear something coming behind me over here to this corner, so I get my eyes around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift that left foot over here into a front stance, basically. It's going to be a little bit different than a normal front stance. What I want to do is I want to shift and I want to do an uppercut. In order to get my hips into an uppercut and get some oomph into it, I don't want to leave that leg straight back there and let those hips just stop when they get to a certain point. I want to let my hips go with it. So in order to do that, this is the only difference between my normal front stance. I still want my toes, my belly and my nose pointed this way, but I'll rotate a little bit past that point of a straight leg and let that knee bend in. Again, feeling my weight sink into the earth here as I do that uppercut. I want to feel some power in that. Okay, this uppercut here happens, left hand's on my hip, right hand should be pretty much right in front of my face. From there, still I'm facing northwest here, I'm going to take 2 steps back away from this guy and I do a reverse uppercut strike. So as I do the first step, left foot goes behind and I'll swing it low. That's how you start that reverse uppercut. Bring it up behind me and get it ready for the uppercut part. And then that right leg steps back, boom. There's the uppercut part. When I finish this, it's in an X stance. My feet look like an X. My legs are crossed. So I was here, uppercut. Step 1, step 2. There's my reverse uppercut. I hit that person twice, they're out. I'm not worried about them anymore. I'm going to scan around, look for if there's any more trouble, any more people want to come after me. Right foot, this is kind of where I get back on my straight lines again, off these angles, back on the straight line. Right foot goes straight to my east, straight over here where it's kind of facing behind me right now, into a front stance. As I do that, I'll cross my arms here, so my right hand's on top, just flop it over on top like that. I'll let the right hand take control of the staff, go into a straight line with where my body's facing, and my left hand will scan out here in front of me. Whether you make your arm straight, I don't prefer straight, I prefer kind of bent, and it's looking in front of me, scanning for any other people over here. So that's the first 3 moves here real quick. I finish section 2, section 3 starts going in the other direction. Uppercut, reverse uppercut, prepare, that's how I do it. I cross, I'll scan. So my front stance is pointed that way, but my eyes and my scan are looking straight north, straight to the way I first started this form. From here, I spot one more person here I need to finish off. So my left foot steps forward into a back stance here. It's in the front of my back stance. As it does that, my thumb that's holding the staff will point up towards the ceiling and let my left hand come to the bottom of the staff here. When I do it, just to make it a little bit more dramatic, I'll slide that hand down toward the bottom. This is preparation. This isn't a move, it's not a block, it's preparation. I'm looking right here toward that bad guy. That's ready. And then I step that right foot forward, uppercut. So in order to do that, I had to drop that right hand behind me to get some power. And my hips can help me. They're turning as I'm stepping forward. Help me get some oomph in that uppercut right there. From here, I'll drop this hand a little bit more toward the middle as I start this next move. I'm going to take 2 steps back and do that spin overhead strike. All right, while I'm taking those 2 steps back, if you remember, if you've practiced the spin overhead strike, it starts with a figure 8. So that's why I drop this hand toward the middle as I start. So from this uppercut, as I step back, I've let go with my left, I've dropped this more toward the center, and I've got, here's my first step back, 1 figure 8. Second step back starts the second figure 8, but as soon as my palm starts pointing toward my face here, that's when I can grab with my left hand again. All right, so it's like 1.5 figure 8s. 1, 2, or you can think of it as 3 scoops with your thumb, right? 1, 2, on a 3rd scoop right after that is when you're going to grab with that left hand. Left hand's behind me, my left shoulder. That's where I want to go. I was moving away from him with those 2 steps. I'm going to spin and attack toward him. So just like you would any other spin move in Taekwondo, spin over that back shoulder, push off that back leg, spin, overhead strike. As soon as that left leg lands in that front stance, overhead strike. So one more time, just starting from the scan. All right, from here I'm looking straight that way. I find one more person I gotta get. So step forward, get ready. Uppercut. 1, 2, 3 scoops here. Grab, push, spin, overhead strike. That's the end of section 3 if I was facing this way. So if you started facing, if you were practicing looking over my shoulder and we started facing this way then, and let me run through this real quick. I finished section 1 here. Section 2 went here. Section 3 went this way, right? Let's see. Section 3 was 6. Okay, so section 3 started, and that's what we're going over now. So I finished section 2 toward the southeast corner in that spin thrust. Section 3 starts me looking northwest. Shift that left foot over so it's in front now. Uppercut in that weird front stance with that back knee bend. Step back, 2 steps, reverse uppercut, landing in that X stance. Right leg steps out behind you, scan. Remember as I'm doing that, I'll cross my right hand on top here, scan. Right hand takes charge. I like to stop it straight out from where my shoulder and my arm are pointed. That scan's happening right here in front of me, looking. Step that left leg up into a back stance. I'll get my fingers and pull them down that pole, pull them down the step here toward the bottom to give me some room so I can step forward, uppercut strike. And now that hand ends toward my belt right there. From here, I take 2 steps back to do that spin overhead strike. I guess I'll get over into a straight line toward here. From here, and as I do that, I'll drop my hand more toward the middle. So from here, 1 step, 2 steps, spin, overhead strike. That finishes section 3 of the earth boat.